Well, nice to see everybody. Welcome. I was here 2 years ago, a little bit bigger, lost a few pounds, I'm very proud. Just a big shout to the Big Huddle team. Great merchandise, great people to deal with, we love them. It's really sort of privileged to be here and stand before you and talk to you about hitting the mark. Don't hit me if you don't like what you're hearing. So we're going to be going through the Hitting the Mark report together, but before we kind of dive into that, I just wanted to do a quick intro of who we are, so you can see a little bit sort of what we're all about. So what gives us the right to stand up here and give you information? I'm a little bit older than probably quite a few people in here. I've got a dog called Digby. I have a radio show that I do at the weekends. But more important than that, I've been around a bit. So I worked for DHL in the 90s. I worked for Streamtime, which was a project management software tool, for about 7 years. So I learned learned all about e-commerce, technology. Then I moved into Starship It, which is a shipping automation bit of software, a bit like ShipStation and Ship Theory, etc. And I work for NetSuite, so I've gone from small boutique software companies to big kind of, multinational organisations, and ended up at Dotdigital. So that's a little bit about my background. Over to you.
Yeah, Mark loves a fun fact. I, on the other hand, was digging deep for some. But yeah, so my name's Taeya. I moved here from Canada over a year ago. 99% of the people I meet in England think I'm American, so just wanted to put it out there that I am Canadian off the bat. I played volleyball in university over in Canada and started my career out in the creative advertising space at a few of the top agencies in Canada, and then moved into the MarTech space and landed at Dotdigital, stayed in the MarTech space. So yeah, that's
awesome.
us.
Yeah, cool. So yes, we are going to dive into our presentation. So Hitting the Mark, what is Hitting the Mark? So it's a report that we create, and we've been doing it for a number of years. And what it does is it analyses a cross-section of brands and allows us to kind of get an insight of how they're performing. Now, a lot of the brands that we're going to be looking at today aren't Dotdigital customers necessarily, but they're good examples of where they're hitting the mark or not hitting the mark, and so on. So, one of the biggest things that we're going to kind of talk about is these 6 areas. So the website, is the website, performing properly? Is it a good experience for those consumers? The data collection, are you getting the right data and doing the right things with the data? Personalisation is a huge one for us. Our brands leveraging that data and using the personalisation side of things to really get under the skin and understand what the customer needs, not just blanket emailing and blanket getting into contact with them. Campaign content, are the campaigns displaying relevant information, relevant content, and how are they designed? What's the design like, the campaign design? So we're going to be looking at all of that. There we go, sorry. So this is really nice. This is a kind of snapshot of the 100 brands that we looked into. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the sort of global average scores by evaluation area, we can see that the lowest one is personalisation. This is a really surprise. So it's one of the sort of biggest shocks, really. But there's a lot of other areas here that we've managed to get some information in. So we're not going to be going into the whole report. We're going to be delving into a few of these different areas and just giving you a highlight of some of the things that you might want to look at and consider. Okay.
Perfect. So we're going to start off with the first area, which is the website, the start of most of your customers' journeys. So we evaluated based on a bunch of different criteria, but we're just going to call out a few of the ones that we thought were the most relevant themes for today. So geo-targeting is being very underutilized within the brands that we evaluated. So even if you don't know who the customer or who the visitor is, you can still use things like geo-targeting to create a personalized experience that's relevant to the visitor. So if they're in a sunny area of the UK, you're promoting like picnic gear, whereas if it's raining there, you're promoting rain gear, like rain boots or wellies, as you guys call them over here. So little things like that can help with that bounce rate and help make it a more frictionless experience on the website. The second area, live chat is becoming increasingly popular on brands' websites, but there's a bit of a disconnect and a lack of transparency about when it's a bot and when it's a human. So just being transparent and communicating, hey, these are automated replies, but you can expect to speak to an agent in X number of hours, days, minutes, whatever that is. So they're not sitting around waiting, trying to talk to a human. Or if it's not manned by a human, send them a phone number, how to get in contact with one. And then the last area here is just making that email sign up really prevalent on the website. A lot of brands are kind of burying that at the footer of the website. So putting that maybe in a popover or above the folds can help increase your ability to capture that data and turn those anonymous visitors into an actual customer profile. Cool. So we do have some examples for each of the areas. So on the left we have Peak, which is a tourism company. So you can't really do anything on their website unless you create an account, and sometimes that's just, you don't want to go through all those hoops. So having the ability for someone to experience your website by just entering an email and also capturing that data and being able to nurture them into maybe creating an account later down the line, they're kind of missing out on that data capture point there. And then Lola's on the right here. So they do a really good job with their live chat. I don't know if you can read on the screen, but basically using AI to filter through the queries and then communicating an agent will be with you in a few minutes. Seems simple, but I'm sure we've all been very frustrated in a live chat before and gone full Karen mode. So yeah. All right, the next area is data collection. Not as fun of an area, but it is necessary, and that is affecting the ability for brands to personalize and create targeted marketing communication. So the first thing we wanted to call out here is that a lot of brands are not maximizing zero-party data. So zero-party data are things like the types of topics they want to hear about from a brand, the channels they want to be communicated via, the frequency they want to be communicated to. So all these things are data points that brands can capture in the preference center when people are signing up. It might add a couple more steps for them, but you can just make them optional. If they want to fill it out, then at least you have some more data that you're able to segment and able to actually deliver experiences that resonate with them. The second area is communicating the value of customers sharing their data with you. We know that customers are a bit more wary these days about sharing their data, but explaining why you want their data and what you're going to be using their data for can help build that trust and maybe increase your chance of capturing that data early on. Lastly, so channel choices are not necessarily being offered because brands aren't capturing mobile numbers at any point in the journey. And it's just a huge miss because we know that SMS open rates are 98% compared to an email open rate standard is around 20%. So being able to capture those mobile numbers and utilize them in your marketing is super important, and they can work really well together, email and SMS. So 73% of brands aren't capturing the numbers based on the ones that we reported on. So big opportunity there. So some examples on the left, we have a preference center that's collecting zero-party data. So they're asking, what do you want to hear about? How do you want to be notified? How often do you want to be notified? So they're able to now kind of segment those customers and create bespoke experiences for them. And then on the right dry bar, they're prioritizing SMS mobile number capture. So when you sign up for their email offer, it's also going to prompt you after inputting your email to input your SMS to become a VIP, whatever that means. So tying those in together, not having it be a separate thing. Someone's already typing in their email. They're probably more likely to type in their SMS, their mobile number at that point anyways. Cool. So personalization, it's a big one. It's the lowest number on our evaluation that Mark showed you guys earlier. So what can brands do to kind of improve this? So using social proof can really help improve the relevancy of your content on your website. And the way this comes into personalization is showing different types of social proof based on whether it's a new visitor or whether it's a returning customer or a returning visitor that you have some more data on. Our partner Trustpilot did a study and found that 66% of customers are more likely to purchase a product based on social proof, but only around 26% are using social proof on their conversion pages. So big drop off there, but we've seen brands, especially like in the travel space, show that like how many people have booked this recently. That's an example of using social proof, and maybe they're using that for someone who they know has been looking at those types of vacations. If it's a new visitor, putting those reviews above the fold, so you're just building that trust off the bat since they're brand new to your site. And then when it comes to the basics in email, first name personalization, it feels like it's been boilerplate standard for a while, but we found that only 21% of brands are actually using this. It's a simple but effective way to kind of make your customers feel valued, and if only 1 in 5 brands is using first name personalization, you can bet the other 4 to 5 brands aren't doing much beyond that first name personalization. And lastly here, 98% of brands aren't using basic forms of web personalization like welcome back messages or that geo-targeting content that we talked about earlier. It's just a huge opportunity for brands to stand out in this space because of how low that score was, that 8% score that we showed earlier. That's kind of where fresh relevance at Dotdigital kind of comes in, creating a different experience based on whether they're a new visitor or you know something about them. If I've browsed ASOS, for example, and I was looking at formal dresses the last time I was there, if they're able to serve me an experience that's all around formal dresses and what's new and in that category, I'm more likely to stay on the website, can decrease that bounce rate and hopefully increase the conversion rate there. So definitely a big white space there. And then just a few examples, really simple. Air New Zealand using first name personalization in their emails. And then Huel does a really good job at utilizing social proof. So you see that their Trustpilot score is above the fold there, and they're calling out actual 5-star reviews on their website as well to help with that conversion and build trust with their new visitors. Cool. For you.
Thanks, Taeya.
Swappy swap.
She's good, isn't she? So yeah, big shout to Dylan actually for the first session. It's brilliant, really enjoyed it. So email. So we think that email is still king. It's, you know, everybody uses it. It's still, you know, the first kind of thing that everybody starts with. So basically we evaluated everything from list acquisition tactics and welcome emails to viewing browser links and unsubscribe process. Popovers are a blessing or an absolute curse. I buy a lot of records. I shop on Beatport, on Juno, and it's really annoying if you get a pop-up when you're already logged in. Now, Beatport, we've just won Beatport as a business, which is really exciting. So I can't wait for the new kind of emails and the marketing to come through, because before it was a real, it put you off, you know, I've already bought that, or I'm not into weird house music that's kind of orchard house or something like that. I mean, what is that? So yeah, getting those popovers right. I mean, only 34% of brands use them effectively, and it's just a really effective way to grow your list of customers. So yeah, and also if you've got somebody who's on the page and they're thinking about moving off the page, you know, you could have an exit strategy on the page. So it will take you, when you've moved the mouse to the top left-hand corner, then a pop-up is a good experience and a nice thing to have. It's going to give you 30% off or whatever it might be for the next purchase. Anybody know what BIMI is? So we're going to get our BIMI on. BIMI is the brand indicators for message identification. Okay, so only 6% of brands use this because they don't know what it is. I only found out what it was by working at Dot and seeing how effective it can help give brands really good reputation. So whether it's a blue tick on Insta or the cesspool that is Twitter, if there is a blue tick on there, then that's a good experience. It's going to give you a good reputation. So it's basically like getting a blue tick. And lastly, unsubscribes is a great way of getting feedback. It's simple and it's a good way to improve your marketing. A couple of examples. Grenade is a protein shake bar company. So basically what they've done is they're kind of combining popovers with incentives and clear communication of the benefit of subscribing to their brand. So it's a kind of playful tone of voice. It knows what the demographic is, and it kind of works quite well. Trip, these guys are a little bit more tricky. They've got the CBD situation going on. Crush, Yakima, if there's CBD or something that's a little bit kind of suspect, they're not going to be able to deliver those emails. That's when you get your BIMI on. So BIMI can help you with those kind of restricted items in inverted commas. So it's being flagged. It's more unlikely to be flagged if you're using BIMI. Does anybody remember what BMI stands for? BIMI stands for?
Brand indicators.
Yes, well done.
Do you know?
I haven't got a bloody clue. So lastly, from my piece, so campaign content. So editorial campaigns can help you position your brand, basically. It says what it does. So if you just bought a coffee table, there might be a guide there might be a leaflet or something that's going to help you or give you some ideas on how to dress that coffee table or how to style it. If you bought a plant, you're going to put vodka in it or you're going to put water in it. There are some plants that don't like water. They have to have a certain type of, so that kind of thing. So, resources for subscribers, really good way of being able to kind of improve the content of that campaign. A/B testing, first line personalisation, it's really underused from what we found in our research. A/B testing, test stuff, what works, what doesn't work. Have you got the ability to do that on your platform? And that resonates with your audience. It's just getting that message right to the right people. And lastly, we talked about FOMO. Dill's mentioned it earlier. Fear of missing out. It can be really useful when you're using it correctly. If you're overusing it, it kind of diminishes the impact of your brand and the messages your brand is trying to portray. Always sending sale messages. Exactly what you were saying, Dilla. We concur. We agree with that. So it decreases the urgency because there's going to be another sale. DFS, it's always got a sale on. Couple of examples. So this is a vegan food seller called All Plants. They're using editorial information to help convert, and they provide value to their customers with some of the information they put. And test subject lines can be used. They're really impactful when they're used correctly. And for example, with Dotdigital, you can have up to 10 impact lines. Campaign design. So this is the final of the 6. when email content is made up of images, too many images won't render on some devices, and that can be quite detrimental. We've had a couple of instances lately where prospects have had a massive, amount of images, and it's too much. They'll get clipped on some devices. It's making those call to actions clear. Where are they going to be? Are they going to be sort of easy to see? 45% of brands are maximising quick conversion opportunities by putting those CTAs in prime real estate. And you see that straight away when you're opening them up. A couple of examples. So this one here, Oreo cookies. This is the kind of thing that happens if you've got too many images. Some devices don't render properly and you can't enjoy that experience of looking at those wonderful cookies. So bulk, is that right? I haven't got my glasses on, I can't see a bloody thing. Bulk powders, Olive Garden, dynamic imagery, gamification is kind of a fun way of being able to engage with customers through hooking audiences in with something a little bit more interesting than just the standard information. But having the call to action above the fold, like on the bulk, is there a little? That's a good way of being able to capture your audiences. So, in conclusion,
all right, yeah, we'll go super quick. Super quick summary. So obviously, website experiences matter. It's where your customer journey kind of begins and sometimes ends, so just making sure everything's super seamless there and taking advantage of that personalization gap, perhaps. Data is your secret weapon. So yeah, the more data that you collect and use effectively, the better you can personalize your marketing and be more targeted. So don't just gather data, although that is a good first step, put it to work. So segment your audience, create targeted campaigns, and deliver personalized experiences that resonate. Email is still king or queen, but her crown needs a polish. So it's still a necessary channel. Obviously, it's always on, but it's evolved a lot, and brands kind of need to adapt with the changing customer wants and the changing landscape. So not forgetting your best practices, your deliverability, making sure your emails aren't super image heavy, but also providing value to your customers and actually utilizing that channel versus batch and blasting promotions all the time. And the personalization opportunity is huge, as we've said many, many times before. So it's just an opportunity to keep your content really fresh and relevant and engaging for your web visitors and subscribers. So how can Dotdigital help? We can help you guys enhance website experiences by offering advanced personalization, the social proof we talked about, geo-targeting, etc., to help you kind of convert anonymous data into those customer profiles. And we can collect and store data from multiple sources, including zero-party data, and then be able to leverage that at scale to enhance your customers' experiences. And lastly, extend your email marketing strategy. So we have a really great professional services team. So we know that sometimes brands' marketing resources are strapped, whether that's time or budget. We do have an in-house professional services team that can help support in different areas. And also we have a wonderful partner network, Rusty Monkey included. So we're always happy to connect our partners with our customers to support them in areas that they need. We do have a stand today with members of our team. Elliot, Dom, if you want to speak about anything we mentioned today. And lastly, there is that QR code if you do want to download that full report, or you can bother us for a link later, but there's a lot more in there that we didn't cover. So yeah, anything to add?
No, that's great. Thank you very much. If you've got any questions, you've got about 2 minutes.
That's how we like it.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for listening. Sorry, clap there. Keep going. Deals.
So I do agree, email is king/queen. Where does SMS fit? Is that Princess Prince? Or?
No, SMS is a huge channel for us. We have our own SMS network. We currently operate in about 220 different countries, so we can be really competitive. So if anybody wants to have a discussion about some of the benefits of SMS, like Taeya said, 98% is probably the open rate of an SMS. Oh, bloody hell, they're texting me. Everybody kind of gets it and sees it. So it's a huge part, a huge channel for us at Dot, and also a lot of the social, like WhatsApp. We've got WhatsApp integration now, Facebook, TikTok. So yeah, it's they're really important, and they can complement your strategy. Yes, sir.
Any examples of the conversion rates from SMS? Because I know personally I get it from EE, I just open it to clear it. So 98% is just so I don't have an...
I think there might be in the report actually. It might be worth downloading it. I don't off the top of my head. I'd have to find out. But we've got a stand upstairs. Come and have a chat. I'll find out for you.
I get text from a website. I only open it to block them.
Yeah, that's right. But it's if you've purchased something, I know that if I've purchased something, and yeah, I mean I buy those T-shirts for fat blokes, and I can't remember. I forgot what they're called. But I'm always getting text messages off them, 70% off, 50% off, and I know that when I'm ready to buy my next lot of T-shirts, I can use that code. So yeah, it depends how much it's being repeated. It can be really frustrating, but if it's done right, it can complement your strategy for sure.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Thank you.